ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
Right. Good morning. The next concept is calculations based on chemical equation. So first let us try to understand the meaning of chemical stoichiometric equation. What does it deals with, or what does it explain? And a chemical equation. So chemical stoichiometry describes the quantitative relationship existing between the substance which undergo the chemical change. So when you do some chemical reaction, chemical stoichiometry describes the quantitative relationship existing between the substance which undergo the chemical change. Whereas chemical equation it explains the change, the actual change in terms of formulas or symbols of reactants and products. So here it represents the change in terms of formulas and symbols, the actual change. Here it gives the quantitative relationship between the reactants and products. Right. So what is a balanced chemical equation and unbalanced chemical equation? Unbalanced chemical equation, balanced chemical equation. A chemical equation in which the number of atoms of all elements present on both left hand side and right hand side, if they are not same, then we call it as unbalanced chemical equation. If the number of atoms of all constituent elements on both left hand side and right hand side in a chemical equation are same, then we call it as balanced chemical equation. So let us take a simple example. H2 plus O2 gives H2O. So on left hand side, that means reactant side, on right hand side, that is product side. Hydrogen atoms, how many hydrogen atoms we have here? 2. How many oxygen atoms? 2. Here in this molecule, how many hydrogen atoms you have? 2. How many oxygen atoms? 1. So number of hydrogen atoms on left hand side equal to number of hydrogen atoms on right hand side, therefore it is balanced with respect to hydrogens. Oxygens 2, 1. So with respect to oxygen it is not balanced. So we can call this as unbalanced chemical equation. Suppose if I write like this, half H2, okay, H2 plus half O2 gives H2O. On left hand side, how many hydrogen atoms I have? 2. On right hand side, how many? Half O2. In O2 there are 2 oxygens. If I take half mole, there will be half molecule, there will be only 1 oxygen. In 1 O2 there are 2 oxygens. In half O2 there will be only 1 oxygen. On right hand side there are 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atoms. So if you compare on left hand side and right hand side, all constituent atoms, that is hydrogen and oxygen, are balanced. Hence we can call this as balanced chemical equation. If number of atoms of all constituent elements, right, is same on both sides, that is left hand side and right hand side, that is reactant side and product side, then the equation is said to be balanced chemical equation. Next, stoichiometric coefficients. Stoichiometric coefficients. So you can see the numbers here. If nothing is there, it indicates that 1. Stoichiometric coefficient number 1 is not written. See these numbers. The numbers present before atoms or molecules in balanced chemical equation, we call them as stoichiometric coefficients. The numbers that are present before atoms or molecules in balanced chemical equation, we call them as stoichiometric coefficients, right. For example, if I write like this, say here small a, b, c, d's, they represent numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 like that or half. They are called as stoichiometric coefficients. So, stoichiometric coefficients are nothing but numbers present before atoms or molecules in the balanced chemical equation. Remember, stoichiometric coefficient 1 is not written. Here we do not write 1. If nothing is there, that means by default you have to consider it as 1. So, stoichiometric coefficient 1 is not written. So, let us recollect. Chemical stoichiometry describes the quantitative relationship existing between the substance undergoing chemical change, that we will study from this equation. Chemical equation, it represents the actual change, actual chemical change represents the actual change in terms of symbols or formulas of reactants and products. If number of atoms on left hand side and right hand side are same, right, that means reactant and product side are same for all constant atoms, then we call it as balanced chemical equation. If they are not same, then we call it as unbalanced chemical equation. The numbers that are present before atoms or molecules in balanced chemical equation, we call them as stoichiometric coefficients. So, a balanced chemical equation provides the following information. A balanced chemical stoichiometric equation provides the following information. What are they? Mole ratio it provides. So, next molecule ratio, mass ratio, and volume ratio. Mole ratio, molecule ratio, mass ratio and volume ratio. So, let us see how to get this mole ratio, molecule ratio, mass ratio and volume ratio from a balanced chemical equation. So, let us consider the following equation. A moles of A reacts with B moles of B gives C moles of C and D moles of D. Capital A and B represents symbols of reactants. Or formulas of reactants. C and D represents symbol of products. Small a, b, c, d's, they represent stoichiometric coefficients. Stoichiometric coefficients. So, let us consider this is the balanced chemical equation. Balanced equation, balanced chemical equation, right. So, let us see what we can write. First one, mole ratio. The stoichiometric coefficients, they represent the moles of respective components. The stoichiometric coefficient itself represents the moles of respective components. So here this A, which is the stoichiometric coefficient, means A moles of A moles of A combines or reacts. Here we write stoichiometrically equivalent. This symbol represents stoichiometrically equivalent or reacts with B moles of, B is the stoichiometric coefficient, B moles of capital B, which stoichiometrically reacts with C moles of capital C, C moles of capital C, which is stoichiometrically equivalent to, okay, let me use this, which is stoichiometrically equivalent to D moles of capital D. D moles of capital. So what we need to remember, the stoichiometric coefficients itself represent the mole ratio of respective components. Next, molecule ratio. One mole is equal to Avogadro number of molecules. One mole contains Avogadro number of molecules of respective component. How many moles we have? A moles. If one mole contains Avogadro number of molecules, A moles contain A into Avogadro number of molecules of capital A, stoichiometrically equivalent to, we have B moles. One mole of any substance contain Avogadro number of molecules of the substance. We have B moles. That means B into Avogadro number of molecules of capital B is stoichiometrically equivalent to, we have C moles. So C into Avogadro number of molecules of capital C, stoichiometrically equivalent to, we have D moles, convert into molecules, D into Avogadro number of molecules of capital D. So since one mole of a substance contain Avogadro number of molecules, I have converted the moles into molecules. From where we got moles? The stoichiometric coefficients. What are stoichiometric coefficients? Numbers present before the reactants and products in the balanced chemical equation are nothing but they represent the moles. Converting the moles into molecules. Right. Next, mass ratio. Mass ratio. So what is this mass ratio? How do you find number of moles? Number of moles is equal to weight by gram molecular weight of the substance. Weight by gram molecular weight of the substance. Suppose if number of moles is 1 mole, then what happens? Then weight equal to gram molecular weight. Weight equal to gram molecular weight. Suppose if I have 2 moles, then what happens? Then weight will be equal to, okay. So what we require here is we have to convert moles into mass. So weight equal to number of moles into its gram molecular weight. Number of moles into gram molecular weight. So let the molecular weight of A be capital MA. So what I can write here, we have A moles. A moles means number of moles equal to A. So A into its molecular weight, let us assume M subscript A becomes mass of capital A is stoichiometrically equivalent to, we have B moles, number of moles is B. Therefore, B into molecular weight of B grams of capital B is stoichiometrically equivalent to C moles. So, number of moles is C into its molecular weight, let us assume C, M subscript C, grams of C stoichiometrically equivalent to, we have D moles, D into, so number of moles is D into molecular weight of D grams of capital D, where MA, MB, MC, MD are molecular weights of A, B, C, D respectively. And we have one more, that is volume ratio. This is for reactions involving gases. For reactions involving gases. Assuming A, B, C, D are gases, then Avogadro's law, the number of moles of gas is directly proportional to volume. So, instead of moles you can directly write volume ratio. So, these moles, if they are gases, then I can directly write volumes. A moles means A volume of capital A stoichiometrically equivalent to B volumes of capital B. Already we have studied this, right? Equivalent to C volumes of capital C, D volumes of capital D, right. So, from balanced chemical equation, right, now we have studied how to write the mole ratio. The stoichiometric coefficient itself represents the mole ratio. Once you know mole, you can convert into molecule. Once you know mole, you can convert into mass, you can convert into volume, provided they are gases. Now, we have studied that how to write the different ratios. Let us practice for one example. N2 plus H2 gives NH3. Haber's process, all are gases, nitrogen is a gas and ammonia is also gas. Check whether it is balanced or not. 2 nitrogen atoms, only 1 nitrogen atom. 2 hydrogens, we have 3 hydrogens. So, to balance it I am writing 2 moles, I am taking 2 moles of ammonia, 2 nitrogen atoms, here also 2 nitrogens, right. Here we have 6 hydrogens, so multiply it with 3, it is balanced, right. So, let us see whether we can write mole ratio first. What is mole ratio? The stoichiometric coefficients of balanced equation. How many moles? Nothing is written. That means it should be 1. So 1 mole of nitrogen combines with 3 moles of hydrogen. When 1 mole of nitrogen completely reacts with 3 moles of nitrogen, then you will get 2 moles of ammonia. 2 moles of ammonia. This is mole ratio. Next, molecule ratio. 1 mole equal to Avogadro number of molecules. So 1 into Avogadro number of molecules of nitrogen reacts with 3 moles, that means 3 into Avogadro number of molecules of hydrogen to form 2 moles, 2 into Avogadro number of molecules of ammonia. So this is the molecule ratio. Next, mass ratio. When you know moles, multiply with molecular weight. So number of moles equal to what? Weight by molecular weight. We require mass. Mass equal to number of moles into molecular weight. So how many moles we have? 1 mole. What is the molecular weight of nitrogen? 28. So it becomes 1 into 28 grams of nitrogen combines with 3 moles. What is the molecular weight? 2. 3 into 2 grams of hydrogen to form 2 moles of ammonia, that is 2 into 17 grams of ammonia. This is the mass ratio. Coming to volume ratio. Since all are gases, volume is directly proportional to number of moles. So 1 mole means 1 volume of nitrogen combines with 3 volumes of hydrogen to form 2 volumes of ammonia. Again, volume units, it can be liters or it can be ml, etc. So this is how you have to practice. So far we have studied the meaning of chemical stoichiometry, the chemical stoichiometric problems. Can be classified as weight-weight relationship problems, problems that can be solved based upon weight-weight relationship, weight-volume relationship or mass-volume relationship based problems. This is nothing but gravimetry, and the other one is volume-volume relationship, volume-volume relationship. So again here it can be for gases, for volume. For gases we separately study under the heading idiometry. For solutions it is volumetric analysis, or simply titrations. We study them separately at the end. So weight-weight relationship based problems, weight-volume relationship based problems, volume-volume relationship based problems. So here idiometry will study the next concept, volumetric analysis we will study at the end. Now these problems, they can be solved by 3 different approaches. They can be solved by three different approaches, three different methods. One is mole based method, POAC method, principle of atomic conservation, principle of atomic conservation method, equivalent concept method, equivalent method or equivalent concept method. So we will see first one here, mole method, right. So as you can see here, what does this mole method involve? In mole method, we have to write the balanced chemical equation first. Write the balanced chemical equation. Write the chemical equation, check whether it is balanced or not. If it is not balanced, balance it. Balancing chemical reaction, again we will study a separate topic, but simply you can balance like this for time being. So first write the balanced chemical equation, then write the mole ratio. What is this mole ratio? The stoichiometric coefficient itself represents the mole ratio. Using the unitary method, you can find the required quantity of the substance. So these are the 3 points, 3 steps that are involved in mole based mole method. So first step is write the chemical equation, check whether it is balanced or not. So balance it. So simply write the complete balanced chemical equation. Second step, the stoichiometric coefficient represent mole ratio. So write the mole ratio from the balanced chemical equation. Using unitary method, try to find the quantity of required compound. These are the 3 steps. Using unitary method, try to find the value of the required component. Right. So 3 steps. Once again, write the complete balanced chemical equation. The stoichiometric coefficient represent moles, therefore write the mole ratio. Using unitary method, find the required quantity of the product. So let us see one by one. The first one is problems solving based on mole. Problems solving, right. Based on mole concept. So the same thing. So here first we will see mass relationship, calculations involving mass weight, same thing here, relationship. So what happens in this type of weight relationship or mass relationship? In these problems, first you have to write the balanced equation, then find the mole ratio. Mass of a component will be given, it can be reactant or product, and mass of some other component is to be calculated. This can be reactant or product. Mass of one component will be given, mass of another component is to be calculated. So you require what? The relation between mass of given substance and mass of the required substance, right. You should know the mass relation. From where you will get mass relation? From mole ratio. From where you will get mole ratio? From stoichiometric coefficient. When you will get stoichiometric coefficient? After writing the balanced chemical equation. So first write the balanced chemical equation, then write the mole ratio, then think about the remaining things. Since you require mass, convert the moles into mass. How do you convert moles into mass? By multiplying with their respective molecular weight. So once you get mass relation, Then identify the component whose mass is given, identify the component whose mass is to be calculated. Using mass-mass relation from the mole ratio, right, using unitary method you can solve it. I will show few examples. Few problems. Calculate the weight of CO2 formed. See here, what they are asking is weight of CO2 formed by complete combustion. So this is one more point, complete combustion of 1.5 grams of ethane. Already we have studied the meaning of combustion. Combustion is nothing but oxidation, where the substance reacts with oxygen. Substance reacts with oxygen. Complete combustion. In complete combustion, carbon is converted to carbon dioxide, hydrogen is converted into water. Right. First, let us write the combustion equation. Ethane. So ethane, eth means 2 carbons. It is an alkane, CnH2n plus 2. In ethane, n equal to 2. Therefore, C2H6 is the formula. So C2H6, combustion means reaction with oxygen. Generally combustion is defined for 1 mole. You have to take 1 mole of ethane, 1 mole only, right? How many carbons we have? 2 carbons. Therefore, it should be converted into carbon dioxide. As I already said, in complete combustion, carbon is converted into carbon dioxide. Carbon should be completely oxidized, means converted to carbon dioxide. Hydrogen should be converted into water. So next, hydrogen is there, therefore you write water. Then we have to think about balancing. So this should be 1 mole, that is the meaning, that is according to the definition, combustion is defined for 1 mole usually. Enthalpy of combustion, that we study in thermochemistry, right? So there are 2 carbons, 1 mole contain 2 carbons, therefore I will write here 2. Next, 1 mole contains how many hydrogens? 6 hydrogens. Here we have 2, therefore I will write 3. 2 carbons, 3 into 2, 6 hydrogens. At last you balance oxygen. How many oxygen? First to count the number of oxygen atoms on product side. 2 into 2, 4 oxygen atoms. Here you have 4 oxygen atoms, right? Here you have 3 oxygen atoms, right? Add total 7. If I write O2, one molecule contains 2 oxygens. In one molecule of O2, there are 2 oxygens. We require how many oxygens? 7. 7 oxygens, right? Now, in order to write in the form of O2, right, I have to take 7 by 2 O2s. So altogether we have to get 7 oxygen atoms. Here we have molecules. One molecule contains 2 oxygens. Therefore 7 by 2 molecule contains how much? That is 7 by 2 into 2 equal to 7 oxygen atoms. Now it is balanced. 2 carbons, 6 hydrogens, right? 7 by 2 O2, that means 7 oxygens, 2 2s are 4 plus 3, 7 oxygens. So it is balanced. So nothing is there, that means 1 mole combines with 7 by 2 moles of oxygen to form 2 moles of CO2 and 3 moles of water. Usually this will be liquid, this is gas, and this is also gas. This is the stoichiometric mole ratio. Next, come back to the problem. The mass of ethane is given, mass of CO2 we have to find. Identify these two. This is ethane and this is CO2. Mass of this component is given, mass of this component has to be calculated. Mass of a component is given, mass of other component has to be calculated. In order to solve this, you require mass-mass relationship. So convert these 2 moles into mass. 1 mole of ethane. What is the meaning of 1 mole? Weight equal to molecular weight. Number of moles equal to weight by molecular weight. If n equal to 1, then mass will be equal to its molecular weight. What is the molecular weight of ethane? 2 carbons, 2 into 12. 2 into 12. I'll write here 2 into 12. 2 carbons into its atomic weight plus 6 hydrogens into atomic weight of hydrogen 1. 2 into 12, 24 plus 6. You will get 30. So, molecular weight of ethane is 30. 1 mole of ethane means how many grams? 30 grams. 1 mole of ethane means 30 grams. We don't require these two, so I am leaving it. 2 moles of CO2. 1 mole of CO2 means 44. 2 moles of CO2 means 2 into 44 grams. So, I have converted the mole-mole ratio into mass by multiplying with the respective molecular weight. Next, what is the mass of ethane given? 1.5 grams. We don't have 30 grams, we have only 1.5 grams. For 30 grams, you will get 2 into 44 grams of CO2, but I have only 1.5 grams. How many grams of CO2 will be produced? So, cross multiply, what I will get? Cross multiply, mass of CO2 produced, cross multiply 2 into 44 into 1.5 by 30. So, 1530. So, you will get 4.4 grams of CO2. Mass of a component is given, mass of other component is to be calculated. So, to get this mass relation, I have to write the mole-mole relation from the Balanced equation, convert the mole into respective mass by multiplying with molecular weight. Using this mass relation, right, you can find the required mass. Right, calculate the number of grams of MgCl2 that could be obtained from 17 grams of HCl. So, MgCl2 is the product. This product you will get when HCl reacts with magnesium oxide. Magnesium belongs to which group? Second group, second A group. So, its valency is +2, oxygen -2, crisscross method. What you will get? MgO. So, the formula of magnesium oxide is MgO. First you have to write the equation. Magnesium oxide reacts with HCl to form magnesium chloride. So, Mg +2 from here, Cl minus here. MgCl to hydrogen and oxygen, they combine to form water. Next, you have to balance it. We have 2 chlorines, so 2 HCl, 2 hydrogens, 2 hydrogens. Now it is balanced. 1 magnesium atom, 1 magnesium, 1 oxygen, 1 oxygen, 2 chlorines, 2 chlorines, 2 hydrogens, 2 hydrogens. It is balanced. After writing the balanced chemical equation, the stoichiometric coefficient. Here nothing is there, therefore you will get 1 mole of magnesium oxide reacts with 2 moles of HCl to form 1 mole of magnesium chloride and 1 mole of water. And this is what you will get. Next, come back to the problem. Mass of HCl is given. Here excess magnesium oxide, excess ante kavalsina danikane ekku undi. So you should not worry about magnesium oxide from now on, because its quantity is present in excess, more than that is required. So don't worry about the moles or mass of magnesium oxide. So your mass of HCl is given, you have to find the mass of MgCl2. 2 moles, what is the molecular weight? 35.5 plus 1, 36.5. So 2 into 36.5 grams of HCl. Remember, this is in excess, MgO, so you should not worry about this. Gives 1 mole of magnesium chloride. Magnesium atomic weight 24, chlorine atomic weight 35.5. There are 2 chlorines, so 35.5. This is 10, 11, 15, 6, 3, 9. You will get 95 grams. 1 mole means 1 into 95. Right. You should not worry about water also. So 2 into 36.5 grams of HCl can produce 95 grams of MgCl2. But how many grams of HCl we have? Only 17 grams of HCl we have. So what I will get is around some 22.12 grams. How many grams of oxygen are required to burn completely? That means to oxidize completely. 570 grams of octane. 570 grams of octane. So let us see first octane. Octane is an alkane where N is 8. Therefore C8H18. CnH2n plus 2. Substituting N equal to 8. So this is octane. Octane is completely oxidized. What are the elements? Carbon and hydrogen. Carbon is converted to carbon dioxide. Hydrogen is converted to water. So completely burned. So C8H18. As I already said, 1 mole we have to take. Reaction. Burning, oxidation, combustion. Everything means same. That is reaction with oxygen. Carbon is there, so it is converted to carbon dioxide. Hydrogen is converted into water. This is what we can write. Next, let us balance. So we have to take 1 mole. According to the definition, it is defined for 1 mole. How many carbon atoms are there? 8. So we have to take 8 moles here. Next, 18 hydrogens. So 9 moles. 9 into 2, 18. Now carbon is balanced, hydrogen is balanced. Then balance oxygen. So don't write here anything. First balance, count the total number. 8 into 2, 16 oxygen atoms plus 9. Total 25 oxygen atoms. We require O2. So by 2, that is 25 by 2 O2. So this is the balanced chemical equation. So writing the mole ratio, 1 mole, 25 by 2 moles, 8 moles, 9 moles. This is gas, this is gas. Okay, C8H18. Next, see, mass of octane is given, mass of oxygen has to be formed. So mass of this component is given, mass of this component is to be calculated. So we have to know mass relation. We know mole relation, but we don't know mass. Convert into mass. 1 mole means how many grams? Equal to mass equal to molecular weight. 8 into 12. 8 2 is 16, 8 1 is 96 plus 18 hydrogens 4, 10, 11. So you will have 114 grams of octane. Now this is easy, 25 by 2 into 32 grams. So 114 grams of octane requires 25 by 2 into 32 grams of oxygen. But how many grams of octane we have? 570 grams. Therefore, this is 25 into 32 into 570 by 2 into 114. So on simplification you will get around 2000 grams.
ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.